What's good, everybody? RJ Shelton here, back with another episode of Midwest Recap. Hope you guys had a great weekend, this previous weekend, excuse me. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. Wisconsin area, Packers, great win, beating the Texans 24-22 in a tight ball game. Jordan Love was 22 of 33 from the field, 220 yards throwing, 3 TDs and 2 interceptions. Josh Jacobs had 12 carries for 76 yards and 5 receptions for 16 yards and a touchdown. Great play call. Basically motioned out, went ahead and Jordan Love went ahead and threw to him. He basically did the rest and took it in, I want to say, for about like a 8 to 9 yard touchdown. Romeo Doubs, granted, we've been, I would say, harsh on him, not, playing obviously due to his own personal reasons. We've squashed that. He was incredible this game, making unreal catches. Those 50-50 balls that you need, he came down with. He's definitely, one of Love's favorite targets still, as we saw this past week. Great game for him at 8 receptions for 94 yards. Wicks had 3 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown. It was good for him to go ahead and get in the zone. Another great red zone play. Basically just 4 verts. He beat the guy outside and went ahead and made the catch and scored. And then Tucker Kraft, who's starting to be kind of one of my top favorite Packers as of recent. Good Wisconsin man. He's indulged, whatever that word is. He basically has taken in Wisconsin from seeing pictures and stuff, deer hunting, all that. If you haven't really looked into Packer Twitter, go and look him up. But anyways, I can talk about him all day. 3 receptions for 33 yards and a touchdown. Unreal throw in the red zone again from Jordan Love. From Jordan Love to Tucker Kraft. Tight window, very Brett Favre-ish. Packers as an offensive whole, though, still a very sloppy game by Jordan Love. We don't need to have 2 interceptions. There's a couple balls that he needs to go ahead and drive down instead of floating up high. But other than that, I know he'll go ahead and get it squared away, but we need to go ahead and get those turnovers down. Matt LaFleur play calling when opportunities, to close the game has got to be way better. We're continuing to go ahead and not get over that hump yet. And I think once we get over that hump, we're a team that can definitely go ahead and go to the Super Bowl. And then last but not least, cutting penalties. We can't have 8 penalties. You don't want to have any penalties in a ball game. But we got to cut those penalties down because that only hurts us. Defense, man, unreal. Great game by them last weekend. Held one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL and CJ Stroud to 86 yards. Again, 86 yards. That is unheard of in the NFL. Credit to, obviously, our defense. We held Stephon Diggs to 5 receptions for 23 yards. Tank Dell didn't even record a single stat. Yes, we gave up 100-plus rushing yards, which is no bueno. But, if you're giving up only 86 yards in the past game, you're doing something pretty well. And we finally got pressure, obviously due to us holding, CJ Stroud and that Texans high-powered offense. Finally, we're getting home on third downs. Gary was getting in there. He finally recorded a sack, even though the guy kind of was, maybe not in the right position or was an airhead, not knowing what to do. Doesn't matter. A sack's a sack. Sucked that Quay Walker went down. Eric Wilson came in and basically was showing me like, hey, listen, this guy's got to be our middle linebacker from here on going out. Unreal game from him. Had 5 tackles and 2 sacks. Quick backstory on Eric Wilson. Excuse me. When I was in the process of going in the draft, was a free agent. Me and him went in the same draft class and started in Minnesota. So I know of him. Great dude, great human being. Takes the game very serious. And if you've seen his play, he's a guy that can make plays. And then last but not least, as of right now, one of the best safety duos. We got Evan Wilson and obviously Xavier Kenny. We're making plays all over the field. This was a great test for the Packers, and they definitely went ahead and passed this test. It was an ugly game by the offense, but when it mattered most, they went down, drove the ball down, and set up the game-winning field goal. And our defense continues to go ahead and get takeaways, continues to make timely plays to put us in position as an offense to go ahead and win games. It's an all-in-all good thing when you've got both ends working together. And then special teams. And obviously, Brandon McManus, welcome to Green Bay, brother, man. Cool, calm, collective, hitting that game winner. 45-game-yard winning field goal. What a game. What a day to be a Packer fan. Obviously, this past Sunday, we go ahead and face the Jaguars this week. That's definitely a sleeper game. We got to go ahead and continue to play good football. But if we continue to go ahead and play the way we're playing right now, I think we got a good shot at going ahead and getting this NFC North division. Moving on over to Badger football. Badgers went ahead and beat Northwestern 23-3. Another classic Badger win, running the football and obviously playing good defense. I mean, they were basically controlling that whole game, as they should. Three-game winning streak. Everyone's pulling on the same side of the rope. I think we've continued to say, just like last week, their identity is found of what type of team they are. Obviously, they're a run-first team, and obviously they're going to go ahead and throw the football here and there, but heavy dose of the run. They are 3-1 in the conference. Overall, they're 5-2. As I mentioned earlier, they are on a 3-game win streak. Huge game against Penn State. That is homecoming. That is a 6:30 p.m. game. A lot of alumni is probably going to be back here in the Wisconsin area. It's going to be bumping. And please, for the love of God, we continue to say this every week, or I do, or any of my co-hosts that get on. Student section, you have no reason not to be on time. It's a 6:30 p.m. game. And on top of that, if you want to go ahead and win this game, this is definitely a game that will go ahead and put you on the map that, hey, you got to take us serious when it comes to, college playoffs or getting into a big bowl game. If you go ahead and take care of Penn State at home, you're definitely going to be knocking at the door. And then last but not least, Buck season is here. Excited for that. Obviously, we all know what happened last year. Got a little bad taste in our mouth this year. We're definitely going to come out swinging. Bucks go ahead and face the 76ers this Wednesday, and that is in Philly. Moving on over to the Minnesota area, tough loss for the Vikings. They lost that one 31-29 against the Lions. Sam Darnold was 22 of 27 from the field, 259 yards, not 500, 259 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Aaron Jones had 14 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown and had 3 receptions for 23 yards. Justin Jefferson had 7 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Nailor had 4 receptions for 76 yards. And Jordan Addison had 3 receptions for 66 yards. From the offensive end, I mean, this was going to be a heavyweight fight between these two teams. These are probably two of the best teams in the NFL. And realistically, any team right now in the NFC North, I feel, is probably the best team in the NFL. So for them to go ahead and do what they did against the Lions, I mean, if you're putting up at least 27 or more points up on an NFL team, you're doing pretty well. You just came up short playing against a good team with the Lions. Obviously, a couple guys played very well on the defensive end. Andrew Van Ginkel was very good from coming off the edge, had 6 tackles for 2 sacks. Jonathan Grenard, 2 tackles and a sack. Pace Jr., a guy that is definitely being one of the ranks of the top, middle linebackers within the NFL, had 3 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Like I said, this was a tough game that you don't want to lose at home, but you got to look at your opponent. Both these teams are even when it comes to offensive side, defensive side. Tough one to go ahead and lose at home, but you got to go ahead and split with them, in this rugged division in the NFC North. So when you go to Detroit, you definitely got to get that one. Quick turnaround for the Vikings. They go ahead and face the Rams this Thursday. Gopher football, coming off their bye week, will face Maryland at home. That is another homecoming game. They're 2-2 in the Big Ten, 4-3 overall. Going to be a good game. Maryland's a good football team, so you got to prepare just like you did last week when you went ahead and faced, obviously, UCLA and won that. But I think all in all, preparation that the Gophers have been doing, as of recent, is definitely going to go ahead and get them to win this game. I got the Gophers this game. And then last but not least here, Timberwolves are back in action as well. They play today against the Lakers. Always love seeing Anthony Edwards play. He's going up against LeBron James, for the first game of the regular season. Definitely going to be fun to watch. They are on ESPN right after the Knicks versus Celtics game. That game is at 9 p.m. And then moving on over to my Illinois area, Bears, they were on their bye week this past week. They faced the Commanders this week. It's going to be a battle of who the better rookie quarterback is. Both teams are playing very good football. I'm expecting a shootout this game, but I think the Bears are going to come out with this victory. As we're looking at it right now, we're seeing that Caleb Williams is definitely finding his way on the field when it comes to making the right reads, knowing, personnel, knowing down and distance, being able to go ahead and read coverages and making the right decision. I think we saw that obviously in London when they were facing the Jaguars, and I think he's only going to get better. So that'll be another game that, it could go south for them, but I don't think they're going to go ahead and lose this game. So I got the Bears coming out with that one. It might be, if we're looking at overs, it's definitely for me probably going to be over 40 for sure, just due to what both offenses do, in basically trying to go ahead and hit home runs, but at the same time being able to go ahead and have a running game as well. Fighting a lot of night football, they went ahead and beat the team down the road 21-7. Altmaier was 9 of 18 from the field, 80 yards throwing, 1 touchdown. They ran the ball as a group for over 187 yards, which is, if you're in the college or the high school or the pros, you're running the football over 180 yards. That's definitely going to put you in a good position to win a football game. This defense has been playing great. They've been playing lights out, basically holding the team down the road to 7 points after their bounce back, giving up 49 against Purdue the previous week. But Gabe Jacks was all over the place. This game had 6 tackles for 2.5 sacks, and Matthew Bailey had 6 tackles and an interception. Illini's 3-1 in the Big Ten, 6-1 overall, 4th in the Big Ten, and ranked 20th within the NCAA. They have a bye this week. Definitely good to go ahead and get one of those rolling into the second half of the season. They're definitely for real. And I think they're continuing to be a good football team within the Big Ten. And then last but not least here for the Illinois area, Bulls are back in action. They go ahead and face the Pelicans Wednesday in New Orleans. And that game, I believe, might be around 6:30 or kind of more later in the day. But Bulls are back. And then last but not least here, my Michigan area, the Lions went ahead and beat the Vikings 31-29. Jared Goff was 22 of 25 from the field, 280 yards throwing, 2 TDs. Gibbs had 15 carries for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also had 4 receptions for 44 yards. Amon St. Brown had a huge game, 8 receptions for 122 yards and a touchdown. I mean, we can just call it as it is. Call it spade a spade. Jared Goff right now is the best quarterback in the NFL. Stats are insane from when he's being blitzed, when he's not being blitzed. He's playing very good, efficient football and winning football for this Lions team. He's been doing that ever since he's got to Detroit. So shout out to him. He's going to continue to go ahead and do what he does. He's definitely leading the MVP race right now when it comes to offensive players. And then moving on over to defense, thought they would have some problems not getting pressure on the quarterback. Wasn't an issue. 4 sacks as a total unit and had 1 interception by Brian Branch. This is a great win for the Lions, getting their first one in the division. They faced the Titans at home this week. Then moving on over to Michigan State football. What a great win. Beat Iowa 32-20. Childs was 20 of 30 from the field, 259 yards throwing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That interception that he did throw, we've been seeing it throughout the weeks. You just can't go ahead and force things that are not there. You got to go through your reads. But he came back in the second half and played a monster game. Lynch Adams had 15 carries for 86 yards. Carter had 9 carries for 49 yards and a touchdown. Nick Marsh had a huge game, 8 receptions for 113 yards, along with Foster Jr., 5 receptions for 100 yards. This game was where everything came together for the offense. Childs was making smart plays. Like I said earlier, he made that one airhead play in the beginning, the first half, but the second half was completely different. He was keeping, our chances of scoring at an all-time high this whole entire game, and that's what you want from him. You want your quarterback to go ahead and put you in a position to win games. Wide receivers being able to, being playmakers, with the ball in their hands, getting open on routes, catching the ball, and obviously getting a little bit more after the carry. And then last but not least, obviously our running game. If you know Michigan State, obviously we love to run the football. Both those guys, Lynch Adams and Carter, were both effective, along with Childs. One run that was insane where it was basically like he was playing NCAA football out there. I think it was the third quarter. They were go ahead and driving. That was before, I forgot that Foster Jr. scored as well. He had a touchdown as well with his 100 yards. Before he went ahead and caught that deep out route. It was about 20 yards for a touchdown or maybe 30 or more. I mean, basically, it looked like he was Cam Newton out there trying to go ahead and get a first down, which he did. Rolling out left, someone came in, moved him, made a good move, made another good move, ran for a first down. We get play like that out of him, just consistent, don't hurt yourself football from the offensive end. We're definitely going to go ahead and do what needs to be done. And then let's move over to the defense. Defense held Iowa to 20 points, who scored 40 last week. Joe Rossi, I like what you're doing, my good brother. Continue to do what you're doing. You're getting these guys playing to their assignments, playing aggressive and getting to the football. That's definitely what I like to see. We continue to have a game just as we saw this past Saturday. We're going to be in every game that we play in when it comes to Saturdays, if it's home or away. So can't wait for what we got going on. Obviously, we all know what's going down in Ann Arbor, Michigan week. You already know what's going down. I don't have to go and explain myself. When we obviously get Tony Lippett on here, we'll definitely have some things to talk about that. But all in all, great win this past weekend. It's a little bit different now this week, a little bit more personal. And then last but not least here, before we go ahead and take you out on this good Tuesday, Pistons face the Pacers this Wednesday. NBA's here. We got NBA, we got NFL, we got college football. What could you ask for? But with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys had a great weekend, prior weekend. Hopefully your week's going good now. We'll go ahead and see you. Obviously, got the lineup going on. Good brother James Menchow and good brother Tony Lippett getting on here as well. Follow me Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We'll definitely have the links going on and everything. But appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys have a great day.